All right, and the countdown has begun, man. This is it. This is the kickoff of the very first Heart of the Swarm StarCraft 2 tournament.
I'm so excited.
I know, man.
This is going to be awesome. All right, here we go. Destiny playing Zerg, WhiteRa playing Protoss, of course. And let's see what these two guys bring to the table here. Now, Howling Peak, a very, very interesting new map in the beta. You actually do have very quick access to your third. If you take a look over there, head over to the third as well. And your natural is wide open. So take a look at the natural. There's two
different opening down
two different attack paths. So I think this could make a potential Forge Fast expand very difficult for WhiteRa. Because look at how much area there is to cover there.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. And one thing I've been noticing...
It looks like he's going for it.
Yeah, well, one thing I've been noticing that Protoss players haven't been doing in Heart of the Swarm is doing a Forge Fast Expand or a Nexus first.
Well, it looks like he is.
It looks like he is. I was going to say, a lot of Protoss players have actually been doing a Naniwa style opening because they favor getting the Mothership Core out. But it looks like WhiteRa says, screw that, I'm going to go ahead and go Forge Fast Expand.
Yeah, no, I totally disagree with that. I don't think that there's really any inherent advantage in getting your Mothership Core out.
I've been talking to Destiny. I was talking to DeMuslim about that as well, and they both said, actually, Protoss players who play against Zerg and go for the Naniwa style, get the Mothership Core out, actually set themselves further back than if they had just gone Nexus first.
I mean, what's the point of getting the Mothership Core out early? What does it provide you?
Besides getting infinite Chrono Boost on a Nexus, not really much.
And it's not even infinite. I mean, you have to wait for the energy to accumulate before you can actually boost it. And honestly, having the second Nexus probably provides you more overall
Chrono Boost energy overall over time. Yeah.
And now, I'm very curious to see how WhiteRa is going to set this wall up, because he's really going to have his work cut out for him. He's got this back attack path here, and it looks like, I mean, he's going to go Nexus first. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But is he going to have enough time to get the Forge up and the Gateway up before these Zerglings for Destiny make their way over? But Destiny didn't drone scout, and I feel like that's a huge mistake on Destiny's part. Not drone scouting, he would have been able to see the Nexus first, and that way as soon as his pool finished, he could actually just make lings. He could have just ran around the back alleyway and ran lings straight into the main.
It's kind of a preference thing for Zerg players whether or not they drone scout, especially if it's a one-on-one map, because you'll eventually get the Overlord over there pretty quickly.
But I totally disagree. I think any Zerg that doesn't drone scout is out of his goddamn mind.
We'll have to agree to disagree on that one, Phaser. But he has the Overlord in here right now, and he is going to see the Nexus coming. Now, he has a spawning pool down, but he's only made 2 Zerglings. So what Destiny is saying here is, well, I see your Nexus first. I'm not going to be aggressive against it, despite, yes, there is a backdoor entrance for now.
I see your Nexus first, then I'm going to raise you a round of drones. And he does have his natural hatchery going up here. It looks like WhiteRa is actually, I think, if we go to WhiteRa's natural, I think he's actually going to try and connect the wall all the way across here, and that way there's only one attack path from the back that he really has to worry about.
And in a way, a lot of Protoss players want an opening so they can eventually move out with their army. If you think of like a map like Ohana, you've got those backdoor rocks that eventually you break down to move out of.
Of course.
But for now, it is a vulnerability. I totally agree with you, Pain User.
And WhiteRa, guys, is spending almost 100% of his Chrono Boost energy getting out these probes. 24-19 right now. WhiteRa taking a tremendous early game lead here against a Zerg. And he's really just pumping out the probes right now. So he's gearing himself up for a pretty... Well, his economy is going to be excellent in the mid-game.
Yeah, I mean, that's the power of Chrono Boost, man. You get those probes out, and you got all that Chrono Boost energy. You can drop it to get your probes out very quickly. Destiny right now did go for a third hatch, so he is going to play a standard style against the Protoss on 2 base.
Interesting.
But my big question here is, what new units are we going to see? This is Heart of the Swarm. It's not Wings of Liberty. I believe it is. So I think, will Destiny go for something like Swarm Host? Because I've been casting a lot of games of WhiteRa on my YouTube channel, and from what I've seen, just a small sample size, it seems like WhiteRa has a lot of problems with Swarm Host, so that might be a vulnerability that Destiny might try to exploit.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Those things do so much friggin' damage. And really, the case in point of the issue is that you're trading free units for units that your enemy is investing resources in. You're trading essentially free units for money.
But having said that, they are pretty expensive, man. They I think they cost something like 200, 100, which is pretty pricey.
Well worth it at that.
I can't argue with that.
They are very, very good. Now, let's take a look, because both players, these builds are actually different than the Wings of Liberty builds thus far. We have WhiteRa taking his 4 gases here. Destiny went for some very early gas. He took the 2 gases at his natural and 1 gas at his main very early on so he could get this layer going. Now, Speedlings do catch a Stalker out in the midfield there, and Destiny does retain control over that Xel'Naga tower, and he does have dominance over the map right now. So he has pretty... and WhiteRa double walling both sides. I really like this. It's going to make any potential run-bys for Destiny very difficult.
You know what's interesting that I've seen so far, or I should say haven't seen, is a mothership core. WhiteRa has not made a mothership core.
He hasn't even built it yet, and that's what I was saying, man.
Protoss seemed to have a bit of the shaft here in Heart of the Storm.
We were talking about that on Inside the
Game.
Yeah. Jeff was in control, was crying his heart out, but and I feel for him, because really Protoss didn't get any really units that are that dynamic that really change the game. Not
at this stage of the game.
No.
But you will see, I think, in the very later stages, you might see Tempest play. You can see Oracle as well.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. WhiteRa actually cancels the pylon there, opening up a second avenue. Does he want to replace? I think he might want to replace it with a gateway, so he has an even more solid wall. Or not really sure yet. He does have a probe over there. He's thinking about what he's gonna do. Now we do have the warp prism out here for WhiteRa, so it looks to be some sort of a warp prism harass here. Destiny just scanning around the map with his Zerglings, trying to see if there's any proxy pylons going up or anything like that, but hasn't found anything just yet.
Well, you know, that Warp Prism can be very annoying. WhiteRa's pretty damn good with that, but the Overseer did come inbound, and I believe it saw the Warp Prism on the side of the map. Now,
why isn't he moving out with his Warp Prism yet?
I'm not entirely sure, actually. He's waiting right now with 4 Zealots inside.
And also, at this point, I think it's bad to make a Mothership Core early. But at this point, I think it's definitely worth it to get that Mothership Core and have it start building up the energy, just in case you need to use a Mass Recall to get out of there.
Totally, man. Mass Recall,
it's got to be worth it.
The Mass Recall is one of the best abilities, I think, on the Mothership Core, and it takes some time to accumulate that much energy.
Of course.
Like, if this Warp Prism goes in and it drops his Zealot load, and for whatever reason things get hairy, WhiteRa could recall his whole army out, but he doesn't have a Mothership Core, so he can't do it. Now, he's going to come in, and he's going to drop 1 Zealot off, 2 Zealots, and the rest are going to go inside the mineral field, but Destiny immediately pulls his drones outside, and the first blood of this game has been drawn. Just 2 drones so far, but more Zealots are coming in. There's Infestors here, though.
Ooh, they're stuck. He's going to get all the Infestors. They got stuck. That's actually huge for WhiteRa. So much gas invested right there. A bunch of drones going down. This harass is paying for itself in dividends. Yeah. That was so well done by WhiteRa right there.
Just getting those Infestors alone and makes those Zealots way worth it. And we know how good Destiny is with this Infestors.
Oh, yeah, and that wasn't at a fault of Destiny.
Right.
That was just one of those things that sometimes happens in StarCraft where, like, you know, the Infestors got attacked and then they automatically move when they're being attacked, and they tucked themselves into that little dark alleyway,
let's just say the Zealots herded the Infestors into the ranch.
I would not want to be Stark in a dark alleyway with a friggin' Zealot.
No, man, they got side lights that light it up, man. You'll see fear in your eyes.
They're without a doubt the most savage unit in StarCraft.
Pretty scary to fight up against, especially in the dark. Alright, we got some 4 Zealots here warping out, but WhiteRa's looking to just load up the Warp Prism.
But this is all in vision of Destiny.
Exactly, that was in the vision of the Overlord.
And is he going to go for it anyway?
I think he is going to try, but there's already roaches here. Destiny had good scouting on that end. And, you know, he's only lost about... He's lost 12 drones, but he's going for a big counterattack.
Yeah, Destiny is launching a huge counter at the 3rd, and I think he's actually just going to be able to outright kill the 3rd here. This could be disastrous for WhiteRa. The Nexus will go down for sure. There's no doubt about it. He only has 2 Colossus.
Yeah, the 2 Colossus are coming in right now. He might be able to use sentries to save his Nexus.
I'm surprised he pulled out there.
Well, the thing is, even if you get this Nexus for Destiny, that would commit a lot of his roaches.
He would have to trade all those roaches,
because the sentries have enough energy to keep him locked down. So I think Destiny made a split-second decision there, Pain User, and he was like, well, I think I'm going to pull out and save the roaches for a rainy day.
And it looks like we have Destiny going straight for Broodlords here. Spire and Hive both on the way right now. Now, it looks to me...
Oh!
We missed some harass there. Additional War Prism harass. 17 workers killed thus far for WhiteRa. He is really staying active, and that's something WhiteRa's been known for since, day one, man. He is so good with that War Prism harass. He absolutely taxes players with that multitask.
Yeah, for sure, man. And it looks like finally the Zealot is going to go down, but, not before 22 workers have gone down this game.
He still hasn't lost that War Prism, man.
I know.
He went for quick War Prism speed, got those Zealots in there, and he is just picking Destiny apart with a single War Prism.
I know. It's pretty much how WhiteRa does his business.
Yeah,
man.
now one problem I see with this map for a Zerg player is that it looks very, very difficult to take a safe fourth. I mean, where do you go? You can take the fourth in the middle, and it looks like Destiny's elected to take the fourth in the bottom right. But that's so far away from the rest of your bases. And look, Destiny has no creep connecting. If you look between his natural and his third, he has no creep connecting there. And a bunch of infested Terrans here trying to harass the front, but only going to be able to get one cannon here. Really no damage done. A lot of energy thrown away.
I think he's using this as a diversion to get the roaches over to the left-hand side, but will he get the Nexus? This could be a big play.
He'll get it.
It will end up costing the lives of these roaches, though. Unless he can burrow out, he gets the kill. Not enough sentries here to force through the roaches, so they will be able to get out of the way.
That was huge for Destiny. He really needed to make something happen here. He was falling way behind in this game. And now, Destiny, wising up, leaving a few roaches at his main, just in case there's some potential Zealot harass coming. So he's doing a good job, but here comes the counter push from WhiteRa, and it is menacing.
Yeah,
he has a ton of Colossus. Oh, but the Stalkers get caught warping in. A few might get picked off. No, Destiny elects to run for the hills. And how is Destiny going to deal with this? Does he have enough? I don't think so.
I don't know, man. He's making Corruptors right now, but it's going to be really, really hard for him to hold off. He's going to need to get a lot of good fungals, spitting out infested Terrans first.
Beautiful force
coming
fields.
down. Yeah, these are
Beautiful
really good force
fields
by WhiteRa. And all the drones now stacking up on the gas, and GG calls Destiny.
Oh my goodness. WhiteRa moved himself into such an excellent position right there. He force-fielded out all of the infestors, prevented any of the roaches from getting in. I mean, that was not even close. WhiteRa just completely ran him over.
Alright guys, well, to be quite honest, we didn't really see any Heart of the Swarm units
in that game, one.
But we have a lot more games to go for the rest of the day. Please don't go anywhere, and we will be right back with Game 2.
Yep, stay tuned guys. We're going to have a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.